How are you guys doing? Today is Monday, August 16th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Sunday, August 15th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. I'm starting in the MLB because that's the only American sport that's currently in regular season right now. Starting off in Philadelphia, the Phillies hosted the Cincinnati Reds as both of these teams are fighting for a playoff spot. The Reds were able to beat the Phillies 7-4 after a 3-run eighth inning in which they were able to get up, thanks in large part to a 2-run home run from Tyler Stevenson after Tucker Barnhart's RBI double. For the Philadelphia Phillies in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Aaron Nola. Nola allowed 4 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, he's 7-7 on the year. In the Phillies batting lineup, the only player that finished with more than one hit was their center fielder, Odubel Herrera. He went 3-for-4. For the Cincinnati Reds in this matchup, their start went to Sonny Gray. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to their first relief pitcher on the day, Lucas Sims. Sims would allow no earned runs in 1.1 innings pitched as he finished out the 5th and 6th innings for Cincinnati. He struck out 2 batters. With this win, he's 5-2 on the season, and the save was given to the Reds closer, Michael Givens. Givens allowed no earned runs off of no hits in 1.1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. This is 3rd save of the year. In the Reds batting lineup, their rookie second baseman, Jonathan India, will go 3-for-5 with an RBI and 3 runs. He hit his 15th home run of the season. Their center fielder, Shogo Akiyama, will go 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs on the day. And with this win, the Cincinnati Reds are now 64-55. That is the second best record in the National League Central. They've won 6 of their last 10, and they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 8 games in the National League Central Division. And they now sit 2.5 games behind the San Diego Padres in the hunt for the second wild card spot in the division, as the Reds are the first team on the outside looking in. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 61-57. That is the second best record in the National League East. They've now lost 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Atlanta Braves by 1 game in the division, and they currently trail the San Diego Padres by 5 games for the second National League wildcard spot, as they are the 3rd team on the outside looking in behind the Reds and the Cardinals of the National League Central. Jumping out to our nation's capital in D.C., the Washington Nationals hosted the Atlanta Braves at a game that I actually went to. The Braves would beat the Nationals 6-5 as all runs were scored by the end of the 5th inning. For the Washington Nationals in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Paolo Espino. He allowed 5 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 3-4 on the year. In the Nats batting lineup, their center fielder, Victor Robles, would go 2-for-5 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Lane Thomas, would go 2-for-4. Their third baseman, Carter Kieboom, would go 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs on the day. And for the Atlanta Braves, the start went to Drew Smyly. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Atlanta Braves' first relief pitcher, Jesse Chavez. Chavez allowed 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitched, but with this win, he's now 3-2 on the season. The save went to Will Smith. Will Smith allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2 on the day. With this save, he now has 25 on the year. In the Braves batting lineup, their elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, will go 2-for-5 with an RBI and a run as the reigning National League MVP would hit his 25th home run of the season. And the very next pitch, it would be a home run from the Braves third baseman, Austin Riley, who's been on a hot streak lately. He went 3-for-5 yesterday with an RBI and 2 runs as Austin Riley hit his 25th home run of the season, tied with Freeman and I think Acuna for the team high. Their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, went 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as Swanson hit his 24th home run of the season. And their center fielder, Jock Peterson, went 2-for-4 on the day. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 62-56. That is the best record in the National League East. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. They now hold the sole lead of the National League East, I believe, for the first time all season, if not for a long, long while. They sit one game ahead of the second place Philadelphia Phillies in the division, and they're holding on to the third seed in the National League playoff picture, behind the Giants holding the Western Division lead, and behind the Milwaukee Brewers, who are holding the National League Central lead. With this loss, the Washington Nationals are now 50-68. That is the worst record in the National League East, and that is the third worst record in the National League. They've lost their last 7 games, which is the second worst losing streak in the National League, to the Chicago Cubs. But they've lost 9 of their last 10, and they now trail the Atlanta Braves by 12 games in the division. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, who are currently leading that division, and the Brewers were able to beat the Pirates 2-1 as they scored both of their runs in the first 3 innings before the Pirates scored their only run in the 3rd inning. The last 6 innings were completely scoreless, good defense from both teams. For the Pirates in this matchup, the start in the loss was given to Dylan Peters. Dylan Peters allowed 2 runs in 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 0-1 on the year. In the Pirates batting lineup, nobody on the team was able to finish with more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from Milwaukee. For the Brewers, the start was given to Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer allowed 1 earned run off 3 hits in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to the Brewers' first relief pitcher, Brent Suter, as Suter allowed no earned runs off of and no hits off 1 inning, and as he struck out 2 batters. With this win, Suter is now 12-5 on the year. The save went to the Brewers' elite closer, Josh Hader, as Hader allowed no earned runs off 1 inning in 1 inning pitched, as he struck out 2, and with this save, he now has 23 on the season. In the Brewers batting lineup, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. He was the only player all game with more than 1 hit. He would hit his 10th and 11th doubles of the year. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 72-47. That is the best record in the National League Central, as they've won their last 2 games. They've won 7 of their last 10. They sit 8 games ahead of the second place Cincinnati Reds in their division, and they are holding on to the 2nd seed in the National League playoff picture, behind the San Francisco Giants out west, and they also sit half a game behind the Los Angeles Dodgers, as they hold the 3rd best record in the entire National League as a whole. With this loss, however, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 42-76. That is the worst record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 9 of their last 10. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 29.5 games in the division, just to get a sense of what the gap is from the top to bottom in the National League Central. Jumping out to Fenway, the Boston Red Sox hosted the Baltimore Orioles, and the Red Sox, still fighting for playoff positioning, were able to beat the Baltimore Orioles 6-2, as they had 2 different spurts of 3 runs, 1 in the 1st inning and 1 in the 6th. For the Baltimore Orioles, the start in the loss was given to Keegan Akin. Akin allowed 3 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With his loss, he's 0-7 on the season. In the Orioles batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their shortstop, Jorge Mateo. Mateo went 2 for 4 with an RBI on the day. For the Boston Red Sox, the start in the win was given to Eduardo Rodriguez. He allowed 1 run off of 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, he's 9-6 on the year. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their second baseman, Kike Hernandez, went 2 for 5 with an RBI. Their designated hitter, Kyle Schwarber, went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Their elite left fielder, JD Martinez, went 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run for the day. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are now 69-51. That is the 2nd best record in the American League East. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 3 games in the division, and they are now sitting even with the Oakland A's for the 1st and 2nd wild card spots in the American League, as they both sit 2.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are the first team on the outside looking in. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 38-78. That is the worst record in the American League East, and that is the worst record in the American League. They now have lost their last 11 games, which is tied with the Chicago Cubs for the worst losing streak in all of baseball right now. And they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 32 games in the division, and the Rays have the best record in the American League. So the gap between the best and worst record in the American League is 32 games. And right now they are just barely sitting ahead of the Diamondbacks as they hold the second worst record in all of baseball, just to give a sense of where the Orioles sit in context with the whole league. Jumping out to Detroit, the Detroit Tigers hosted the Cleveland Indians, and the Indians would shut the Tigers out, winning 11-0, holding the Tigers to only one hit all game. And for the Detroit Tigers in this matchup, the start and the loss would end up going to Drew Hutchinson. Hutchinson allowed 6 runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he's 0-1 on the year, as the team gave up 11 runs and 14 hits in 9 innings pitched. In the Tigers batting lineup, the only player that finished with a hit was their shortstop, Harold Castro. Castro went 1 for 3. For the Cleveland Indians, the start and the win went to Tristan McKenzie, as McKenzie allowed no earned runs and he only allowed 1 hit in 8 innings pitched as he struck out 11. With this win, he's now 2-5 on the year. In the Cleveland Indians batting lineup, their center fielder, Miles Straw, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their shortstop, Ahmed Rosario, will go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his 6th triple of the season. Their elite third baseman, Jose Ramirez, would go 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 26th home run of the year. Their left fielder, Oscar Mercado, would end up going 2 for 5 with a run. Their first baseman, Owen Miller, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 runs. And then their catcher on the day, Austin Henches, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 57-59. That is the second best record in the American League Central, as they've won 5 of their last 10. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 10 games in the division. With this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 58-62. That is the third best record in the American League Central, as they've lost 4 of their last 10. Just sitting behind the Indians, they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 11 games in the division. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the Chicago Cubs, and both teams kind of trending downwards, but the Marlins were able to get the better of the Cubs. This one beating the Cubs 4-1. Nobody scored through the first 4 innings, but the Marlins would score all 4 of their runs in the 5th through 7th innings to run away with win number 51. For the Chicago Cubs in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Alec Mills. Alec Mills allowed 2 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, he's 5-5. In the Cubs batting lineup, their third baseman Matt Duffy went 2 for 4, and then their catcher Robinson Chirinos would go 2 for 2. For the Miami Marlins in this matchup, the start was given to Eliezer Hernandez. He would allow 1 earned run in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Marlins' first relief pitcher on the day, Paul Campbell. Campbell allowed no earned runs off of 1 hit in 0.2 innings pitched, and with this win, he's 1-2. The save was given to the Marlins' closer, Dylan Floro. Floro allowed no earned runs off of 1 hit in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With this save, he now has 5 on the year. In the Marlins batting lineup, their second baseman, Jazz Chisholm Jr., went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 12th home run of the season. Their first baseman, Jesus Aguilar, will go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 22nd home run of the season. Their left fielder, Lewis Brinson, went 2 for 4. And with this win, the Miami Marlins are now 51-67. That is the 4th best record in the National League East. And they have now won their last 4 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They now trail the Atlanta Braves by 11 games in the division, just to give a sense of where they sit. And with this loss, the Chicago Cubs are now 52-68. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 11 games. They are tied with the Baltimore Orioles for the longest losing streak in all of baseball right now. They now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 20.5 games in the National League Central, and they've basically been free-falling ever since they got rid of their core from the 2016 World Series title, with the exception of Wilson Contreras. Jumping out to Kansas City in this interleague matchup, but at the same time, this intra-state matchup. The Kansas City Royals hosted the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals would beat the Royals 7-2 after scoring all 7 of their runs in the first 2 innings. For the Kansas City Royals, the start and the loss was given to Chris Bubich. Bubich allowed 7 earned runs in 1.1 inning pitches. He struck out 1. The rest of the team would not allow a single run afterwards. and they would only allow 3 hits over the remaining 6.2 innings of the game, or 7.2 innings of the game. But regardless, with this loss, Bubic is 3-6 on the season. In the Royals batting lineup, their left fielder Andrew Benintendi will go 2-4 for the day. Their elite designated hitter, Salvador Perez, would go 1-4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 30th home run of the season. And then their third baseman, Emmanuel Rivera, would end up going 2-4 on the day, just to give a sense of how the Royals fared. With this win, for the St. Louis Cardinals, the start in the win was given to J.A. Happ. He allowed no earned runs off of 5 hits in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, J.A. Happ is 7-6 on the season as a starter. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, Tommy Edman, would end up going 2-5 with 2 runs. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would go 2-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would go 2-5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as Arenado hit his 25th home run of the season. And then their shortstop, Edmundo Sosa, would go 2-3 for the day. With this win, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 61-56. That is the third best record in the National League Central. They've now won their last 6 games, which is the best record that's currently the best winning streak in the National League at the moment. That's actually the best winning streak in all of baseball if you really track all of it together. Just to give a sense of how hot the St. Louis Cardinals have been, they've now won 8 of their last 10 games. They trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 10 games in the division, and they now trail the San Diego Padres for the second National League wildcard spot by 4.5 games. They're the second team on the outside looking in, trailing only the Cincinnati Reds as well. Jumping out to the American League, with this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 49-67. That is the worst record in the American League Central and the third worst record in the American League. They've lost their last 4 games. They've lost 7 of their last 10, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 18 games in the division. Jumping out to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Twins hosted the reigning American League champs, Tampa Bay Rays, and the Twins would pull off a 5-4 win at home at the bottom of the ninth, winning off of a sacrifice fly to win them the game off of Jorge Polanco. For the Tampa Bay Rays, the start was given to Luis Patino. Luis Patino would allow 2 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The loss was given to the Rays closer for the day, Matt Wisler. Wisler allowed 1 run in 0.1 inning pitched. With this loss, he's 3-5. In the Rays batting lineup, their elite right fielder, Randy Arozarena, will go 2-5 with an RBI. Their elite shortstop, Wander Franco, will go 2-4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 6th home run of the season. And then their all-star catcher, Mike Zunino, will go 2-4 with an RBI and a run as Zunino hit his 25th home run of the year. For the Minnesota Twins, the start was given to their starting pitcher, Charlie Barnes. Barnes allowed 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win was given to the Twins closer, Alex Colomé. Colomé allowed no earned runs off of 1 hit in 1 inning pitched. With this win, he's 3-4 on the year. In the Twins batting lineup, their right fielder, Max Kepler, went 2-3 with 3 runs on the day. Their designated hitter and former American League MVP, Josh Donaldson, went 2-4 with 3 RBIs on the day. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 52-66. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central. They've won their last 2 games. They've won 7 of their last 10, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 16 games in the division. With this loss, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 71-47. That is the best record in the American League East and the best record in the American League as a whole. They've lost their last 2 games, but they've only lost 3 of their last 10. They sit 3 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox in the division, just to give a sense of where they are. And they currently hold the number 1 seed in the American League, just to get a sense of where they are and where they sit. They hold the 4th best record in the MLB behind the San Francisco Giants, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Milwaukee Brewers, but they hold the best record in the American League, so they hold the number 1 seed right there, sitting ahead of the Astros out west and the Chicago White Sox leading the Central. Jumping out to Chicago, The Chicago White Sox hosted the New York Yankees, and while the Yankees took on the AL Central leaders, the Yankees were able to pull off a 5-3 win, scoring 3 runs in the second and then 2 runs in the top of the ninth, which would prove to be enough thanks to a 2-run home run from Luke Voit. For the Chicago White Sox in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Lucas Giolito. He allowed 3 runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this loss, Giolito is 9-9 on the season. In the White Sox batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Tim Anderson, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI. Their left fielder, Eloy Jimenez, would go 2 for 4 on the day. And then for the New York Yankees, the start in the win was given to Nestor Cortes. Cortes would pick up his first win of the season as he allowed only 1 earned run off of 7 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, he's 1-1 on the season, and the save was given to the Yankees closer for the day, Juan Di Peralta. Peralta would allow no earned runs off of 1 hit in .2 innings pitched as he finished out the 9th. With this save, he now has 4 on the year. In the Yankees batting lineup, their first baseman, Luke Voit, went 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he had his 5th home run of the season. And their third baseman, Rougned Odor, went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as Odor hit his 14th home run of the year. With this win, the New York Yankees are now 65-52. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 5.5 games in the American League East division, and they now trail the Oakland Athletics and the Boston Red Sox by 2.5 games in the wild card race, as the New York Yankees are the first team on the outside looking in. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are now 68-50. That is the best record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 5 of their last 10. But they still sit 10 games ahead of the Cleveland Indians in their own division, so they're comfortably sitting on high. They are holding on to the third. They're holding on to the 3rd seed in the American League playoff picture right now, as they currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays out east and the Houston Astros out west currently. And they also hold the same winning. They also hold the same record as the Oakland A's, so they are tied for the 3rd best record in the American League on win percentage. Jumping out to Dallas, the Texas Rangers hosted the Oakland Athletics and were able to pull off a 7-4 win at home after scoring all 7 of their runs in the first 5 innings of the game. For the Oakland Athletics, the start and the loss was given to Sean Manaea. Manaea allowed 7 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Manaea is 8-8 on the year. In their batting lineup, their elite third baseman, Matt Chapman, went 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 17th home run of the year. He was the only player in the A's batting lineup who had more than 1 hit. For the Texas Rangers, however, the start and the win went to Colby Allard. Colby Allard allowed 3 earned runs in 6.1 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, he's 3-10 on the season, and the save was given to their closer, Joe Barlow. Barlow allowed no earned runs off of 1 hit in 1 inning pitched. With this save, he now has 2 in 2021. Their third baseman in this matchup, Yanni Hernandez, went 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. Yanni Hernandez, like I said, good game for himself. Their center fielder for the day, DJ Peters, would end up going 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. His 2 hits were his 3rd and 4th home run of the year. He and Hernandez are the only 2 players on the team with multi-hit games. With this win, the Texas Rangers are now 42-76. That is the worst record in the American League West and the 2nd worst record in the American League. They've won 3 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Houston Astros by 28.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Oakland Athletics are now 68-50. That is the 2nd best record in the American League West as they've only lost 2 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Houston Astros by 2.5 games in the division, and they are now tied with the Boston Red Sox. They are sitting about even in the American League wildcard race as they both sit 2.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees, who are the first team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to San Fran, the San Francisco Giants, the holders of the league's best record, hosted the Colorado Rockies, and they were able to pull off a 5-2 win, scoring all 5 of their runs in between a 3-run 5th and a 2-run 7th. For the Colorado Rockies, the start and the loss was given to John Gray. John Gray allowed 3 earned runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, he's 7-9 on the year. In the Rockies batting lineup, their left fielder Connor Joe will go 2 for 4 as he was the only player in the Rockies lineup with more than 1 hit. For the San Francisco Giants, the start and the win went to Alex Wood. Wood allowed 2 earned runs in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 6 on the day. With this win, he's 10-3 on the year. The save would end up going to Jake McGee. McGee allowed no earned runs off of no hits in 1 inning pitched, and with this save, he now has 25 on the season. In the Giants batting lineup, their second baseman, Tommy La Stella, would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 76-42. That is the best record in the National League West, the best record in the National League, and that is the best record in all of baseball at the moment. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They now sit 4 games ahead of the defending World Series champs, Los Angeles Dodgers, in their division. They're holding on to the number 1 seed in the playoff picture as they sit ahead of the National League Central leading Milwaukee Brewers and the NL East leading Atlanta Braves. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are now 52-66. That is the 4th best record in the National League West. They've lost 5 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 24 games in the division, just to give a sense of where the Rockies stand. Jumping out to Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Houston Astros, and the Angels were able to pull off a 3-1 win at home after the Astros scored the very first run of the game. For the Angels, they would end up tying it up on a ground out from David Fletcher, but eventually Jack Mayfield would come home. And then in the bottom of the 6th, they would actually take the lead on a force out from Joe Adell, where Phil Gosselin was able to score, and Phil Gosselin's home run in the bottom of the 8th would give the Angels the run that they needed to get win number 59. For the Houston Astros in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Lance McCullers Jr. McCullers Jr. allowed 2 earned runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this loss, McCullers Jr. is 9-4 on the year. In the Astros batting lineup, their designated hitter, Michael Brantley, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Michael Brantley hit his 8th home run of the season yesterday. Their left fielder, Yordan Alvarez, went 2 for 4 on the day. And for the Los Angeles Angels, the start and the win went to Reed Detmers. Detmers allowed 1 earned run off of 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, Detmers is 1-2 on the season, and the save was given to Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias allowed no earned runs off of 2 hits in 1.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. This would be save number 26 of the season for him. In the Angels batting lineup, their all-star designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani, went 2 for 4 on the season, or 2 for 4 on the day. Their third baseman, Phil Gosselin, went 2 for 4 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 4th home run of the season. And then their center fielder, Brandon Marsh, went 2 for 4 on the day. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 59-60. That is the 4th best record in the American League West. They've won 4 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Houston Astros by 12 games in the division. Just to give a sense of where the Angels are. With this loss, the Houston Astros are now 70-47. That is the best record in the American League West. They've only lost 5 of their last 10 games. They now sit 2.5 games ahead of the second-place Oakland Athletics in their division. They are holding on to the 2nd seed in the American League playoff picture as they sit behind the Tampa Bay Rays leading out east, and they sit ahead of the Chicago White Sox leading out in the Central. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the holders of the league's worst record, hosted the San Diego Padres, a team fighting for playoff position, and the Padres were able to beat the Diamondbacks 8-2, as they were able to break the 1-1 tie in the 5th inning off of a solo home run from Fernando Tatis and a 2-run home run from Jake Cronenworth to go 4-1. The Diamondbacks would make it 4-2, and then the Padres would score 8 runs in the top, or score 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning to make it an 8-2 game and win number 67 of the 130 games they've played, 120 games they've played this season. For the Arizona Diamondbacks in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to their elite starting pitcher, Zach Gallen. Gallen allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, he's 1-7 on the year. In the Diamondbacks batting lineup, their second baseman, Josh Rojas, would go 3 for 4 on the day with an RBI and 2 runs. Rojas would hit his 11th home run of the season as well as his 25th double of the year. And for the San Diego Padres, the start was given to Craig Stammen. He allowed no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he allowed 2 hits. He struck out 1 batter. The win was given to Reese Kner. Nair would allow 1 earned run in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this win, Nair is 1-0 on the season, and in their batting lineup, their elite right fielder Fernando Tatis Jr. would go 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. Tatis would hit his 32nd and his 33rd home runs of the season. He, along with Eric Hosmer would go 2 for 4. Those would be the only 2 players with multi-hit games for San Diego on the day. With this win, the San Diego Padres are now 67-53. That is now the 3rd best record in the National League West. They've won 5 of their last 10 games as they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 10 games in the division. They are holding on to the 2nd National League wildcard spot as they trail the Dodgers, the reigning World Series champs, by 6 games for the first wildcard spot. And they sit 2.5 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, the first team on the outside looking in, just to give a sense of where the Padres are. With this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 38-81. That is the worst record in the National League West and the worst record in all of the National League. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the San Francisco Giants by 38.5 games, which is currently the gap between the best and worst teams in baseball right now. Jumping out to Seattle, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Blue Jays, the Blue Jays were able to beat the Mariners 8-3 as they were able to score 5 of their 8 in the 2nd and 3rd innings as they were able to pepper their other runs in as the game went on. For the Seattle Mariners, the start and the loss went to Logan Gilbert. Gilbert allowed 5 runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Logan Gilbert is 5-4 on the year. In the Mariners batting lineup, their shortstop J.P. Crawford went 2 for 4 with a run, and he was the only player on the day who had a multi-hit game. For the Toronto Blue Jays, the start and the win went to Steven Matz. Steven Matz allowed 1 run in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, he's now 10-7 on the season. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, their right fielder Teoscar Hernandez would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 20th home run of the season. Their left fielder Corey Dickerson would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs on the day as he hit his 3rd home run of the season. And then their third baseman Santiago Espinal will go 3 for 4 on the day. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 63-54. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've won 5 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 7.5 games in the division. They now trail the Boston Red Sox and the A's, who are currently tied for the 1st and 2nd American League wildcard spots. They trail them by 4.5 games in the wildcard race as they are the 2nd team on the outside looking in, only sitting behind the New York Yankees in that race. Jumping out to New York, to Citi Field, the New York Mets hosted the reigning World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Dodgers were able to beat the Mets 14-4 as they were able to score 6 runs in the first 2 innings. They were able to make it 9 after scoring 3 more runs in the 6th. They scored 3 more runs in the 8th to make it 12, and then they were able to score 2 in the 9th to make it 14. They had 4 3-run innings to get win number 72 of the year. For the New York Mets, the start and the loss was given to Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco allowed 6 earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Carrasco is 0-1 on the season. In the Mets batting lineup, their right fielder Michael Conforto went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. And then their shortstop Jonathan Villada went 2 for 4 with an RBI on the day. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, on the other hand, the start and the win went to their goated starting pitcher Max Scherzer. Scherzer allowed 2 earned runs and off of 4 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, he's 10-4 on the year. And in the Dodgers batting lineup, their all-star second baseman Trey Turner went 3 for 4 with an RBI and 4 runs. Trey Turner did not hit a home run in this game. Their all-star first baseman, Max Muncy, went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. Max Muncy hit his 24th and his 25th home runs of the season. Their all-star third baseman, Justin Turner, went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as Justin Turner hit his 21st home run of the season. Their elite shortstop, Corey Seager, went 2 for 5 with a run. Their catcher, Will Smith, went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Will Smith would hit his 18th home run of the year. And with this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 72-46. That is the second best record in the National League West, as they've won their last 3 games and they've won 8 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 4 games in the division. Just to give a sense of where they are there. They're holding on to the top seed in the National League wild card, sitting 6 games ahead of the second place San Diego Padres in that respect. With this loss, the New York Mets are now 59-58. That is the third best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 3 games and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They now trail the Atlanta Braves by 2.5 games in the division. That's where the Mets are, and that is what the MLB is looking like following yesterday's matchups. And, of course, looking forward to what's going on today, as yesterday was more of a travel game, as today you're going to see a lot of series starting up right now. Starting with the makeup game from July 1st, Garrett Cole, the elite starting pitcher of the New York Yankees, is going to host Jose Suarez and the Los Angeles Angels at 7:05. Jose Suarez comes into this matchup with a 5-5 record, holding a 3.90 ERA. Garrett Cole comes into this matchup with a 10-6 record, holding a 3.11 ERA. At 7:10 in Miami, Braxton Garrett and the Miami Marlins are going to host Touki Toussaint and the Atlanta Braves. At the same time, at 7:10 on ESPN+, Colin McHugh and the Tampa Bay Rays are going to host Matt Harvey and the Baltimore Orioles. Colin McHugh comes into this matchup with a 4-1 record alongside a 1.41 ERA at the moment. At the same time, at 7:10, Wade Miley and the Cincinnati Reds are going to host Justin Steele and the Chicago Cubs. Wade Miley enters this matchup with a 9-4 record, holding a 3 flat ERA. At 8 o'clock on ESPN, Dallas Keuchel, the elite starting pitcher of the Chicago White Sox, is going to host Frankie Montas in the Oakland Athletics. Frankie Montas comes into this matchup with a 9-8 record alongside a 3.98 ERA. Dallas Keuchel enters his matchup with a 7-6 record alongside a 4.51 ERA. At 8:10, Griffin Jacks and the Minnesota Twins are going to host Cal Quantrill and the Cleveland Indians. Cal Quantrill comes into this matchup with a 3-2 record alongside a 3.13 ERA. At the same time, at 8:10, Carlos Hernandez and the Kansas City Royals are going to host Jake Odorizzi and the Houston Astros. The Astros, of course, enter this matchup with the best record in the American League West. At 8:40, Antonio Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies are going to host Ryan Weathers and the San Diego Padres, as the Padres are fighting for National League wild card contention. At 9:45, Kevin Gausman and the San Francisco Giants are going to host Rich Hill and the New York Mets. Kevin Gausman comes into this matchup with an 11-5 record, holding a 2.29 ERA for the team that's currently holding the best record in the MLB, and the Mets are still fighting for the top of their division that they've held for the majority of the season. And then at 10:10, the defending World Series champs LA Dodgers are going to host Steven Brault and the Pittsburgh Pirates at 10:10. So that is what the MLB looks like as we come into this new week of baseball. Looking at what's going on in the world of soccer, starting off in the Premier League, looking at what's been going on, starting off following the Arsenal loss on Friday, starting off or jumping into what happened Saturday. Manchester United hosted Leeds United and was able to pick up a 5-1 win. They were able to get a hat trick from Bruno Fernandes, their elite center attacking mid from Portugal, as he scored in the 30th minute. The second goal will come from their young English forward Mason Greenwood in the 52nd minute after Ayling scored for Leeds United. Greenwood would break the 1-1 tie to make it 2-1. And then Bruno Fernandes would score goals number 3 and 4 for Man United to make it 4-1. And then it would be a goal from Fred in the 68th minute to give Manchester United the 5-1 win. Looking at the table right now, Manchester United is sitting at the very top of the table because of their the goal differential of 4. Chelsea was able to beat Crystal Palace on Saturday, 3-0. First goal will come from Alonso in the 27th minute. The 40th minute goal will come from Christian Pulisic, the American forward. And then Chalaba in the 58th minute would give Chelsea the 3-0 deficit to at least give them second, to at least tie them for second in the table alongside Liverpool. Liverpool that day were able to beat Norwich City 3-0. They were able to get goals from Diogo Jota, their Portuguese forward, Roberto Firmino, their Brazilian striker, and their elite Egyptian forward Mo Salah in the 74th minute. So that's why Liverpool's up there as well. Looking out to what happened in the Premier League, or I guess looking out to the other leagues that were going down on Saturday. Jumping out to La Liga, Real Madrid was able to beat Alaves 4-1, so they were able to take over the top of the table. They were able to get 2 goals from their elite French striker Karim Benzema in the 48th and 62nd minute, as he got the first and third goals of the game for Real Madrid. And in between his 2 goals, they were able to get a goal from Nacho. Following those 3 goals, Joselu was able to get a goal for Alaves as a penalty. Once it was 3-1, Vinicius Jr. was able to get a nice goal for himself. With this 4-1 win, like I said, Real Madrid sitting very comfortably at the top of La Liga table. In the Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund was able to beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-2, as 2 of their goals would come from their elite Norwegian forward Erling Haaland. They were also able to get a goal from Marco Reus in the 23rd minute. He was the first goal. Frankfurt got their first goal off of a Borussia Dortmund own goal. So that was 1-1. Torgan Hazard made it 2-1 for Dortmund. Haaland made it 3-2 with his first, or 3-1 with his first goal. Gio Reyna, the American forward, would make it 4-1, and then Frankfurt would make it 4-2 in the 86th minute. Haaland would make it 5-1, and then Frankfurt would make it 5-2. So that is exactly how that game would go. Sorry if I kind of butchered some of it. I will get cleaner with it as the time goes on. But those were the games that were contentious on Saturday. And then looking into what happened yesterday into the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur was able to beat the reigning Premier League champs Manchester City 1-0, as the only goal came from Son Heung-min in the 55th minute. So, of course, great goal from him as he is shining brighter than ever to give Tottenham the start at the top of the table. Fun facts about the Premier League: there was not a single draw in the first week, so every team either won or lost. Looking out in La Liga, Atletico Madrid was able to beat Celta Vigo 2-1 to get their spot at the top of the table to start the season. Both of their goals came from Correa in the 23rd and the 64th minute, and then Aspas would score for Celta Vigo off of a penalty kick right before Correa's second goal. So it was 1-1 for a bit. And then Barcelona was able to beat Real Sociedad 4-2. The first goal would come from Gerard Piqué in the 19th minute. So, of course, that was a big moment for them in their first game without Messi. And then Braithwaite would score 2 goals, and one in extra time in the first half, and then he would score in the 59th minute. Real Sociedad would score both of their goals to shrink it from a 3-0 game to a 3-2 game, and then Sergio Roberto would score in the 91st minute to give Barcelona their first win of the season. And then that was really the only game that really kind of carried some weight, especially in the leagues playing. And also Lyonnais lost to Angers 3-2. They were a team that was sitting incredibly high. But yeah, that was basically what was going on in the world of soccer. And with that said, once again, today is Monday, August 16th, 2021. I want to thank the MLB and ESPN websites for helping me with the facts and figures that I needed to do this episode. I hope all is well. Once all of today's episodes and matchups are done, I will come back tomorrow for another episode of The Elite. So until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece, and I want to thank everyone for having the patience for waiting if you actually did have to wait. And until tomorrow, I hope all is well, and I'll catch you all then. Peace out. And once again, today is Monday, August 16th, 2021 out here in this quarantine. Thanks for listening to all 44 and a half minutes of my piece. And peace out. I'll catch you with another episode tomorrow.